We're going to wait a second for that to come up. Da-da-da-da. And make sure that we're not getting interfering sounds. All right. And here we are. Uh, Welcome, everyone. We're here for reading the book Living Untethered by Michael Singer. And we've been having a little conversation beforehand. And I have a feeling that this, what we're going to read, is going to go right along with what we've been talking about. So here we are. This is a chapter called Dreams and the Subconscious. And so we're talking about mental energies. Anybody want to read, or you want me to read?
I can read if you want.
Great. Thank you.
Oh, something went on by accident.
The mind makes this decision as it makes all.
Well, it sounds like the lesson.
Yeah. Okay. To get a better understanding of how stored mental energies get released, let's turn to a favorite topic of psychology: dreams. What are dreams? The traditional Freudian concept of dreams is that some events happening outside leave unfinished impressions in the mind. A little boy wants a bicycle but doesn't get one. He goes to sleep and dreams he got a bicycle. The original bicycle event didn't sit well, so the boy pushed it away in his mind. He suppressed it. When he went to sleep and was not controlling his thoughts as much, the mind was free to release what it had not been free to express while the boy was awake. We all experience this type of dream fairly regularly. A charged event from the waking world finds its way into our dream world. You are not willfully doing this. It is the mind trying to release build up energy patterns. Anybody want to read, say anything about this? There are all kinds of dreams. Freud called the dream we've been discussing basic with fulfillment. It's a samskara formed in the waking mind, releasing energy by creating the thoughts you watch while you're asleep. These thoughts that make up your dreams are not that different from automatic thoughts going on to your waking mind. They are certainly much more vivid, especially in their imagery. This is because when you're sleeping, the mind can focus completely on creating the thoughts. It is not busy being distracted by the senses or the many other layers of thoughts and emotions going on. In addition, you're not willfully pushing the thoughts away. This is why the mind is much more creative when you fall asleep. It can create an entire complex world in full 3D and Technicolor. Most people can't do that when they're awake, though obviously their minds are perfectly capable of doing so. All right, somebody want to take this because I have to go to the potty. Anybody want to read?
Sure, I'll do it.
Okay.
Thank you, Sharon, for getting this going. And actually, yeah, the dream, the mind in the dream, um, is free to create whatever it is. Uh, but they're all the same. It's all the same story, just with like less distraction, or we're not distracted by reality. The limitation of the body. The body becomes unlimited in the dream. And even though the body may get sick or die or fall or break or whatever, be in pain or suffer, all these types of things, it doesn't really affect if you fall and break your arm in the dream, you don't wake up with a broken arm. Even though it was very real in the dream, it's not happening in this part of the world. But um, the whole idea, I think, here is that again, it is the mind, that perception of the mind that is giving us the picture, the story of what's going on. So I love that. And he's saying this when we're suppressing things, we're suppressing disappointment because I didn't get a bike, suppressing a fear of not having enough, or even maybe even making it more real or more like my dream last night where I was dreamed that I was uh, being uh, I was sleeping and the pillows had overcome my face and I couldn't breathe. It was a dream. I was dreaming that was not happening at all. But in my dream, and I knew that I was dreaming, and I knew that I was sleeping, and I knew that as hard as I tried, I could not scream and make somebody wake me up. I've been having these dreams lately where, I know I'm dreaming and I have to wake myself up, literally wake myself up. I never had that before. If you told me that you can come awake in the dream and do things, I would have told you, no, that doesn't happen because it never happened to me. And there I'm on that Luigi state of mind there, I think. It's not really happening. But but it did. So, and it's been happening to me more and more lately, and probably because I want to see that this world is a dream. And so a dream of fear, a dream of death, a dream of joy, a dream of endless chocolate cake. These are the dreams that that we're experiencing in our sleep, and in our waking time, we limit ourselves because we don't see ourselves as having the ability to fly. In the dream, I used to fly all the time in my dreams. I cannot fly in the real world as hard as I've tried my whole life since I was a little kid. Let me do this what I can do in my dream. It ain't happening. So Mickey continues. Once you stop suppressing uncomfortable experiences, one thing you're going to realize is that there really is no subconscious mind per se. The conscious mind and the subconscious mind are actually the same one mind. And the only reason we see a difference is because we artificially created a division. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yes, he knows this from his experience as a meditator, as a person who studied himself in his life. He sees that his subconscious and his conscious mind are the same. And I understand that too. That's why I'm saying, wow, 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 because I recognize there's nothing that is being hidden from me. There are things that I am trying to hide. And he says, to understand this, imagine looking around a room of people and saying, the people on the right side of the room I like, I'm comfortable with those people. The people on the left side of the room, however, I'm very uncomfortable with them. Having stated this, imagine you never again look at the left side of the room because it makes you uncomfortable. What you've just done is separated the room into the part you're comfortable with and the part you don't want anything to do with. The latter part exists, but no longer exists for you. That is exactly what you've done to create the subconscious mind. The part of your mind you're not willing to look at is what we call the subconscious. And so he's making a case here that, yeah, if I put it away, put it in the closet, never look at it again, it no longer exists for me. I'm telling you what, that happens to me all the time. I find things like, oh my God, I forgot all about this thing. But it's not because it didn't exist, it's because it didn't exist in my mind. And if anybody has any thoughts, feel free to put your hand up or let me know, speak up. Doesn't matter. Okay, so fortunately, these artificially divided parts of your mind will merge once you stop suppressing. You will get the rest of your mind back and you will be able to use its full power. Again, wow, wow, wow. Because that is exactly what he did. If you read the book, The Surrender Experiment, That's exactly what he did. He's just stopped saying no to things and starting saying yes to things. And as he said yes to things, his power grew and grew and grew and grew and grew to where, I mean, I think he might even be a billionaire. He 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 developed things, he made things, he had companies, he had all sorts of things that happened, still using his meditation and his spiritual practice every day to make a world for himself where he has his own, temple of the universe, which is over there by where Steve lives. Uh, it's like there's nothing that this man cannot do. I honestly believe there's nothing this man cannot do because he's using the full power of his mind, not just the consciousness, but the subconscious, because he has recognized there's nothing to fear in that subconscious mind, and there's everything to gain by allowing it to exist in full measure, whole, to be whole. You're not whole, WHOLE, when part of you is missing. So he's talking about bringing the wholeness into it, right? So you will get the rest of your mind back and you will be able to use its full power. Imagine how much mental power you waste by pushing all that mess into the subconscious. Then you have to keep it down there for the rest of your life. It's really amazing what a mess we make because we can't handle the moments passing in front of us. Again, the moments passing in front of us. What is happening now is why I'm rejecting it. And instead of rejecting it, accept it, say yes. The thoughts we push down into the subconscious play a role in both our waking and dreaming states. The reason your mind is creating your automatically generated dream thoughts is the same reason your mind creates your automatically generated waking thoughts. In both cases, you are not willfully creating this mental activity. Boom, pull that out and remember that. In both cases, I am not willfully doing this. It's happening on its own as part of the mind's attempt to release blocked energies. That releasing the blocks to the awareness of love.
Right. This is interesting, isn't it? The way he worded it.
Yeah. I mean,
So is that why, my mind will tell me no one loves me, no one wants to be in a relationship. I will create this thought process that always comes back. It's
Right.
blocked energy.
mhm.
That's all it is. Yep. I have it too. Yep. That's all it is.
And
The
what is
mind
the
hates
block?
us. I mean, if you really look at the mind, it really hates us because when it judges other people, it's judging us. That's not
Yeah,
judging other people. So
exactly.
it's not a friend, and it doesn't know what we are. And anyway, I think Ralphie, you share,
Right.
Ralphie. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'm Lynn now.
Go ahead.
I'm a
Well,
mirror of Lynn. I'm love.
Lester Levinson used to say that we push things out into what we call the subconscious mind because we didn't want to deal with them. But they're
Right.
down there anyway, so-called down there. And they keep repeating. And these habits, these tendencies, these uh, so-called mental activities, they're there and they're running all the time. And one of the great things about releasing is when you bring up the non-loving feelings and let them go, it'll actually erase stuff in the subconscious that we didn't want to deal with, and that's one of the great powers of it. I just looked at this line here that says uh, it's part of the mind's attempt to release blocked energies. Those energies are constantly trying to get out, and by suppressing them or distracting ourselves from them or anything like that. It just keeps them there, and they just keep it's mechanical. It just keeps repeating itself over and over and over again. And you're right; it has no clue what we are. It is not our friend. It is the enemy. And but Jesus said, "Love your enemies." So if we're critical of it, we're just giving into it and sustaining it. Um, but being able to bring up the non-loving feelings and letting them go allows these subconscious things that we pushed down there a long time ago we didn't want to look at to leave. And it's nice that it was worded so clearly here, and that everybody's getting a chance to see it and go, oh yeah, I get it. This is great. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafi. And yes, that is exactly it. And recognizing that the people on the left side of the room are not bad. And the things over there are not something, they're not my enemy. They're just things I don't know how to deal with
And
because
and
it's
they're just
blocked.
thoughts. They're
Yeah,
just thoughts. They're
yeah.
just thoughts.
So it's the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, which is what Jesus calls it in the Course in Miracles. It's a block to the awareness of love's presence. If I understood, if I was aware of love in those things and saw that each and every single one of those persons was a gift to me that was given in order to uh, show me that nothing real can be threatened and nothing unreal exists, then I would have the peace of God because there would be, I would not be blocking. It takes a lot of energy to block that stuff. So what he's talking about is when I stop blocking those energies and allow them to flow, the power of the mind is unlimited because it's the mind of God that is expressing through me, not me expressing the mind of God, the mind of God expressing through me. Those are two completely different things. And if I think it's a me expressing, then I'm going to still be dreaming. But when I recognize that it is God expressing and I'm just a coincidental character in the, I just happen to be in the corner of the room. Well, that's happening, and grateful for being here. All right. So continuing on, Mickey says, the common thread between your waking and dreaming states is that it's the same consciousness that is aware of both. You who is watching the dream is the same you who watches your waking thoughts and experiences outside and experiences the outside of the world. Let me read this again. You who is watching the dream is the same you who watches your waking thoughts and experiences the outside world. This is why when you wake up, you can say, what a dream I had. How do you know? You know because you were there, the same you who is aware while you're awake. Interestingly, because it is the same you, there can be a lot of spiritual growth in dreams. All right, this is good. Meher Baba, another great, all guys remember Meher Baba? I bet you do, Rafi. We all remember Meher Baba. Meher Baba, another great yoga master, said that you can work off karma in your dreams. He said that by going through an experience in your dream, it is actually beneficial to your spiritual evolution. You're at least allowing some blocked energy to release that you didn't allow while you were awake, and that is healthy. There is a great deal we can learn about ourselves from the dream state. If what you stored in the subconscious was more traumatic than simply not liking what happened or not getting what you want, what happens? Some things are much harder to deal with than just preferences. There are samskaras that are so deep they can't even come up in a dream. If they tried to release, you would wake from a nightmare in a very disturbed state. In other words, your consciousness isn't able to experience the event when it manifests in a dream. So speaking of waking dreams and sleeping dreams, these things are deep, deep, deep. You resist and become so uncomfortable about it that you wake up. So how does this energy release? And I'm reminded also that Course in Miracles says, he'll work with you in your sleep. Ask him, which I've done many, 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 many times. Before I go to sleep at night, ask the Holy Spirit, show me this, help me this, teach me this, let me see this. And every time I wake in the middle of the night with a knowing and understanding that I didn't have before. I wake in the morning with a knowing and understanding that I didn't have before. I know it's not because the Holy Spirit's there waiting for, oh, come on, ask me. I'll help you if you want me to. The Holy Spirit's there anyway. And it's my asking that says, open the door and come on in. If I didn't ask, the Holy Spirit's not going to go in there and dither around with my mind. You have to want it. It has to be nothing's going to be put on you that you didn't ask for. So yes. Anybody have any thoughts about this, or is this opening up anything for anyone? All right, it's interesting because I started the session this morning early with a discussion about a dream that I had. So, Rafi, yeah, please go ahead.
One of the big great things to do is, for me anyhow, is to be as uncomfortable as I possibly can. Dig as deep as I can to find out what is down there that I'm blocking so that I can bring it up and release it. Whatever it is that I'm resisting, let go of the resistance and then ask myself, what do I really, 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 really want? And whatever's been buried down there will reveal itself, and then I can bring it up and let it go. And we have all of these methods. We have all of these tools that have been given to us. We are divinely guided every step of the way. And all we have to do is get into harmony with that. And, they should be grateful for your triggers. Well, how uncomfortable I get. What's really bothering me right now? What am I afraid of right now? What do I want? Whose approval do I want now? What am I trying to control right now? What am I? Go and ask. I keep asking the questions and making sure I bring up whatever wants to come up. And then once it's there, I go, oh, okay, now I can let that go. We have all of this that's been given to us. And the more I take advantage of it, the clearer I get. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafi. And yeah, it is remembering what it is that I really, 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 really want. That's it. And then once I recognize what it is, then yeah, it's it's a lot easier to find it when I'm looking for it. Thank you. So does anybody else want to read? We have about 18 more minutes to go.
I'm happy to, Lynn.
Great. Thank you, Deb.
Unfinished energy stored in your mind is always trying to release at one level or another. If the release would wake you from a dream, your mind all by itself symbolizes what it's trying to express. Instead of dreaming about the car accident that killed your younger brother, you dream there are birds flying high overhead and an eagle swoops down and takes one of the small birds away. You're willing to watch that, but you're not willing to watch a car accident with someone you love dying. This is all very real. Your mind is doing you a favor. Your brilliant mind did that in an attempt to stay healthy and release at least some of the pent-up energy. That's what the symbology of dreams is about. It's truly amazing how brilliant your mind is when left to its own resourcefulness. Just as your body is always trying to heal itself, so your mind is always trying to release these impurities that are stuck in there. Shall I keep reading? Waking Dreams, chapter 20.
Rocky has his hand up. Go ahead, Rocky.
Okay.
One great way of also getting a hold of these subconscious things that are running automatically and running us without us realizing it is to say, what's the worst thing that can happen to me right now? And when that pops up, then you can see what it is and let it go. It's a very powerful exercise and extremely effective. Just thought I'd pass that along.
Thank you, Rocky. And yeah, I've had that too. And actually, yeah, it's a great practice to, what is the worst thing? I've gone to, yep, if I, lose this, I'll lose that and lose this and lose that. And then, I won't have a house and I'll have to live on the street and I'll be sleeping under the bridge and I won't have any food and I'll freeze to death or I'll starve to death. Yeah, you can go through all that thought process and look at, what is the worst and Lynn under a bridge starving. Is that a terrible thing? It might not be pleasant, but it certainly isn't the worst thing that could be. Maybe the bridge collapses and Lynn gets crushed and she's left laying under the rubble for days, conscious. And, I could go into all the different things that could happen. And none of it, seriously, if I can experience it and forgive it, which is the huge part of Course of Miracles, you don't have to suffer. You can forgive the story. And then when you forgive the story, you don't have to experience it. It's like, you have you ever tested out of a class, gone to school and said, oh, I already know all about, electronic components. So let me just take a test and I'll pass the class and get my credits. That's the same thing. We can test out of it. You can just learn the lesson so you don't have to, if you grew up speaking fluent French and you go to the French exam at school and, you already know the language, what's the point of taking the class? Although we do have English classes and French classes, and because we don't, obviously know it perfectly or think that we know it perfectly. But the whole point being that once you learn it, you don't have to go back. And that's what we're doing here. I don't want to come back. I want to learn it now. I want to do it now. So anyway, thank you for your comments, Rafi, and thank you, Deb. You want to continue reading?
Sure. Chapter 20, Waking Dreams. At this point, you can certainly appreciate the tremendous power of your mind, especially in regard to creating dreams on its own. Creating dreams is not a willful act. Your mind has the power to do it by itself. But as you've seen, your dreams are not the only mental objects that your mind creates automatically. The voice inside your head that talks all day is the exact same expressive power of mind that creates your dreams. It would not be incorrect to call that dialogue in your head your waking dreams. Every personal thing that voice says is because of the samskaras you have stored inside. Your mind is trying to release those blockages during the day while you're still awake. For example, you see somebody running and that voice says inside, I wonder what he did wrong. It's like my brother when he ran away. What is this guy running from? The problem is that this current situation has nothing to do with your brother, and this person could be running for exercise. Your mind is using this opportunity to release energies that are pent up inside. That's why so much of the mind's dialogue is negative. The vast majority of energy you have stored inside is because of things you didn't like. When subsequent events happen that stimulate those negative samskars, the new events are automatically experienced as negative. In essence, the negativity keeps compounding. If you really want to see how your preferences manage to make life a negative experience, go build a house and decide to paint the kitchen walls white. Do you know there are more than 50 shades of white? Just wait until you try to pick which white you want. In other words, there is only one tiny window of color choice that will align with your preferences and make you happy. All the rest will get you upset. Just look at the odds you're up against. There are billions of things that can happen in a life that don't match your preferences, and there are only a few that do. Under these conditions, the probability that life is going to be a negative experience is extremely high. This is not because life is negative, it is because the only thing that isn't negative to you is that which exactly matches your preferences. This is so interesting, it really shows us, why the forgiveness process, the letting go, because underneath every decision that we make about a preference, there's more to it. There are these layers underneath about why I chose that, what I'm trying to do to recreate a comfort from a time long ago. And the more I'm free of that, the more I'm willing to just let all things be exactly as they are. If I have no preferences, I would never dislike every situation, which would free me up to respond in a loving way if I wasn't layering it with my preferences.
Yeah, thank you, Deb. Absolutely, that is it. It's this idea of one thing is better than another. One thing is more important than another. I like yellow. I would not paint my kitchen white in any way ever. Uh, I would paint it yellow or green or rose or, but never white. But that's just me, my preferences. And the next person who comes to buy the house is going to say, what in the world are the people doing here? I had a painter who I had paint on the outside of my house, and he came in my house, and my walls are gold and like honeydew melon green, and like, everything is like rust and all these vibrant colors. And he walked in my house and he looked and he said, yellow. It just cracked me up, but that's the color. Sharon, go ahead.
Oh, me, okay, because my
Yeah.
dog's going to bark. No, I was just going to say that preference,
Scruffy.
yeah, preferences are the thing that gets us, and we don't realize it. At least I don't realize it when I'm preferring something so much because the small I that doesn't exist, wants it. And there was a course teacher that would, and I think it was David Hoffmeister, but I'm not sure. It was a course teacher that one time said that whatever anybody serves him, he eats. Now that can't happen with me. I would go, oh man. But that's when somebody like probably is a little bit radical, right? But it is, it does help if you don't have preferences.
It
So
does. Yeah.
and
And I
we
believe
have so many unconscious, subconscious. Uh, there's Mickey. Hi, Mickey. Who else came? I don't.
Michaela came in.
Michaela. Yeah. Hi. Yeah. I want to say hi to everybody. Yeah, this is nice because we have our in 10 minutes we read the course. But it is true that the preferences are really like a trap for our thinking if we're not aware. Like, yes, I mean, of course we might like vanilla better than chocolate or whatever it is, but try telling an ego. If you have a very strong ego, sometimes you're not going to get it to simmer down.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And I love that about David. Yeah, I believe it too completely because he is such an accepting guy. And, I mean, I know there's been some nasty allegations about him, other things, but as you live in the world, me, I adore David Hoffmeister.
Well, I will say that being a teacher is a hard thing to be, because we put them, and there's still stuff that they have to work through.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
if they don't realize it, then it's a blind spot.
exactly.
So I think being a teacher deserves our compassion, in a sense that we know that they're doing the best they can too.
That's
Even
right.
when they don't, even when they appear not to be, they just don't see it. A blind spot is a blind spot. So, I feel like that's a job I would never want to be a spiritual teacher, not ever. I have no desire.
Yep. Yep. Everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah,
And, he made it clear. But the problem is, like, when you go to a place like that, your curriculum is going to be your curriculum. It's not going to be David's. And that's what I think has to really be done with some of
right.
the teachings. Like, okay, this is what the book says. If we go by this book, then it is about a personal curriculum, and respect that. Don't have someone come to your ministry and demand that you do. But again, that depends how militant a person is. I've seen some awakening teachers that are very militant. They just think that's how you wake up.
Right, right. And for them that may be the case, and
That's
and
right.
they perceive it
Yeah.
that way for you too, because
Yep.
they know better, but nobody knows better. And I think this is what Mickey's saying too. You have it all. You already know. So, that these ideas, these preferences and thoughts of, this is good and this is bad and this is right and this is wrong. This is what the course says. This is what the course doesn't say. It's all things to all people.
Yeah,
It's
it's always an
what you
interpretation
care.
and how they see it. It doesn't, it's a curriculum that's individualized. It's not there to fight. That's the problem, I think, with the ego, that it gets so combative with the course because it wants to believe its interpretation is the only one.
Yeah. Well, I hear that. So I'll just read a little bit and we'll be done.
Okay.
It is so important to understand this because he says it is because the only thing that isn't negative to you is that which exactly matches your preferences. It is so important to understand this. You have set up a system in which you can't win. You have expanded what can bother you to include all experiences that remind you of what bothered you before. That what is more, life almost never totally satisfies you because everything has to be exactly what you want to a T. It shows you the power of the past and present preferences. The more preferences you have, the less you will be okay. So I'm going to mark our place in this book and close it out. And actually, I'm gonna go to these stuff and go here, go here. And I'm going to play a song. I think this is okay.
is a dream.